And we're live. What's up, everyone? How's it going? Uh, got a guest today that I think it's been quite a minute since we've gotten on here and talked about wrestling. Um, I don't even remember what the last video we made was on wrestling. Was it about WrestleMania?
I believe it was Mania, but the last one we did was on mine. It was talking about Punk.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the follow up to that. It's part 2.
The sequel.
So yeah, we're on here talking about the controversy around CM Punk right now. And actually, it's something that I wanted to hear some outside opinions on and get on here and talk with y'all. We're going to see how this goes. It's probably going to be a bit chaotic. We'll see how this goes. But yeah, what's your thoughts, man? I mean, tonight I was just watching AEW and they're in Chicago. I wonder how ironic that is that literally a day after they fire probably the biggest Chicago pop they could have had. Now they're in Chicago with no CM Punk. So I'm like, and then it's ironic as everybody's like, well, Survivor Series is going to be in Chicago. So that means CM Punk's going to be at Survivor. I'm like, guys, no.
He ain't.
Relax,
He ain't gonna be going back there. No, that ain't happening. To me, I thought it was a decision that needed to be done a while ago. I'll be honest. There was always rumors whether he was in the right or in the wrong or whatever it was. He was always involved in some type of drama or something revolving around him that wasn't good. The first thing that happened was All In or All Out, where he pretty much bashed Hangman Page, the Elite, and Tony Khan was pretty much sitting right there and he didn't do a thing about it. So he was just like, oh, I can do what I want kind of thing. And I was kind of like, Tony, you need to start putting your foot down with them. So they made the other show, which is called Collision, I think.
Oh, Collision. You keep calling it Collision, and I'm like, what the fuck is a Collision? Oh, it's...
I don't know. I know. Never
Collision.
Know. Collision. I know
when you first said it, I was like, Collision, is that some like other show they've done? I've never even heard of that. What does that even mean? I kind of want to make it a word. I wonder if Collision is a word somewhere. It's a cool word. I like it. But yeah, the WCW show, everybody's calling it WCW 2.0, where it's just like, well, at least Nitro 2.0, because there's the font and everything, the layout. You can tell they're trying to make it Nitro. Which is ironic because they just lost the guy who that show was based off of. So CM Punk left a big giant hole in wrestling right now because not only did he leave a show that was kind of built around him, but also they have a Chicago pay-per-view going on right now, which I'm in the middle of watching. I just paused it. It's okay so far. It's nothing special, but it's okay. They're in Chicago with no CM Punk, and then also they have a belt called the Real World Championship based off of CM Punk with the X on it that now we don't even know if it's vacated. Does it not exist anymore? Does he have the belt? There's a lot of stuff in the air right now with CM Punk.
There's a lot of things going on we don't know jack crap about. But as I was saying,
yeah, I'm sorry.
We had, the issue with him and All Out, and then, the other issue, and they did the whole second show because of him. And now it's like he kept getting into arguments, and it seems like rumors or fights. And I'm like, dude, what else do we need to do at this point? Because it seemed like there was always something that was getting him in trouble, or he was involved with something, and I don't understand why. And I'm like, you're a grown man. You need to start acting like a grown man. Whether he's in the right or the wrong, he needs to start acting like a leader backstage. And I get it. Jack Perry was the leader, like the one that just happened, because Jack Perry wanted to use real glass in one of his stunts or matches. I think it was against Hook, to be honest. And Punk told him no, and they got into it. And, you know, if I was Punk in this situation, I would just tell the dude, like, hey, you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't.
It's his choice. Like, I get it. Punk thinks he's the elder, and a lot of the elders want to give advice. You can talk to him and be like, hey, man, I wouldn't use real glass because that's going to really hurt you possibly. You should use like some prop glass, sugar glass, whatever we can find. And if Jack Perry says no, thank you, or he says no, I'm good, leave him alone about it. It's his choice. You know, Jack Perry.
Let him get messed up.
Yeah, it's his choice.
That's his fault. If he's gonna get his back messed up, or his face, or his shoulders, or body messed up, that's on him.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't know, I get it. I get where people come, where they're like, oh, I support Punk, I support Tony or AEW. Right now, it's a weird situation because for me, what I've heard, when I keep hearing stuff, he's always involved some way. It's always negative. The one thing I didn't like, and me and you both agreed on this, and I think everyone has agreed on this, was that conference he did, where he shot at Adam Page, he shot at Colt Cabana, he shot at the Elite, he shot at pretty much even Tony right in front of his face, and Tony didn't care.
Yeah, right there,
and I'm like,
next to him.
That was the biggest right there, where I was like, okay, you need to put your ego to a side and actually want to help these guys, not sit there and, because remember what he said. He said, I'm the biggest draw this company's pretty much had.
Mm-hmm.
Something on the lines like that. I can't remember what he fully said, but he said something like that. And I'm like, no, you're not. They've hit 1 million without you. You just help boost it because people want to see you back. And
yeah,
granted, a lot of people did, and a lot of people were happy he was back. And you were, and a lot of people were, and I was the only person who was like, I don't care. I told pretty much everyone else, I was like, I don't care. I don't care he's back. It's gonna hurt more than it's gonna help. And the perfect example was Darby, his first opponent. He beat Darby, and look what happened to Darby. He went down the card, and he never recovered because of it. And I even said that to you. I was like, Darby's not going to recover from this. And after a while, you start seeing, okay, it does feel like he's just here for himself.
Because I mean, there's a clear difference. They kind of had to turn him heel. They had no choice because of just you don't say some stuff like that at a conference and you don't seem so bitter. Like he seemed bitter, he seemed angry, and I feel like they had no choice but to turn him heel. I feel like the reason they made Collision was the idea that, okay, to avoid this from happening again, let's separate CM Punk from the rest of the Elite, or at least a little bit of them. Let's keep him at least on a different show, so like it's less likely to happen again. But the only problem is, if that's what they were thinking, which it was never announced or confirmed, but that's what my theory is. They did that to separate the heat because they knew if they kept CM Punk around Kenny and the Young Bucks again, it would just happen because they don't like each other. But the problem is you've got CM Punk who's going to be at pay-per-views, and so he's going to be around them no matter what they try to do to separate them. So I think what it is not only was Punk the guy of the company, the big deal dude, at least how Tony marketed him, and he pushed CM Punk to be their number one guy supposedly. And not only is he that, but he's also a world champion. You can't be doing that, man. You got to kind of grow up a little bit, man. You can't be bitter to everyone. Like, who cares if someone has an issue with you? I'm pretty sure Roman was sitting in the locker room one day and somebody had a problem with him, but he didn't get up and smack someone in the face or tackle him or punch him. He's probably just shaking it off. He's like, you know what? You want to be on my level? Get on my level, earn it. He probably offered him advice, like, hey, like, you can be on my level. Everybody can, it's like, there's got to be a certain attitude when you're world champion. And I feel like CM Punk, he doesn't have that. He just gets to say whatever he wants, do whatever he wants, thinks he can beat on people and punch people and attack people. and get away with it. And there's no excuse for that. There's a clear difference, though, between CM Punk of 2022 when he first came in and after. I think there was a chance in the beginning, but whatever happened, he got real bitter and real complacent about it and just didn't work once again, man. But a lot of people were saying that Seth warned us about this. People were like, yeah, well, Seth told us already that this was going to happen. He kind of was already. There's been so many people that are like, yeah,
why are fireworks going off?
I know. I thought low key. I thought I heard a gunshot earlier. I was like, that
Did you
was
hear
close.
the big boom? Did you hear that big boom?
Just a one. I heard the one. And
Yeah, I heard two.
What is that?
I heard it sounded like a tire, to be honest. Remember how when we were driving, we heard that tire pop?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I can hear that through your microphone. He stayed retired, and The return didn't work. He became a hypocrite, and he said, "What does it do, Punk, if I lose to a 50-year-old Undertaker? What does it do for Darby Allin if he loses to a 42-year-old CM Punk?" Yeah, I mean, Colton had that point a long time ago.
That's one thing I respect right there. He said he was
he became Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. What was his name again? Hold up. I'm gonna look at the comments. Graveyard even was like, yeah. He said he's like a Punk. He was the biggest Punk fan. Okay, so yeah, it's like he became, like you said, he became bitter, and I'm like, why are you so angry towards everyone? I don't understand why he was so frustrated with everyone. Like, you were the biggest draw in wrestling when you came back because everyone wanted you to come back. They were chanting your names in WWE. They were chanting your name in the Indies. They were chanting your name in TNA. They were chanting in Ring of Honor. They were chanting it everywhere. They were always saying CM Punk, CM Punk. And they'd always would try to hijack shows because they wanted him back. I'm surprised that pay-per-view didn't get hijacked because they're in Chicago.
Yeah. So far, it's surprising how it's not as chaotic as you think it would be. Because and I think a lot of fans were in denial, man, because I won't lie, when CM Punk first came back, it was cool because he had the smile. He seemed humble. He seemed like maybe he changed. Like maybe he'd give this a real chance. And yeah, I had a little issue with him beating Darby Allin, but I was more accepting of it. I was like, well, maybe let's just see what the future holds. Let's see if this is going to be something big. And it ended up not. It ended up not being that. It ended up being just CM Punk rolling on to the next guy and beating him, And also Punk, I don't understand why they pushed him so hard while he was injured, and also knowing the fact that he wasn't 100%, so he got like injured even worse, and then he got injured again. I think he kept getting injuries, and I'm just like, obviously y'all pushed him and worked him too much, and I don't know. It was just a big flop because it could have been great if they would have booked it right and if CM Punk came back with the right attitude, which he did in the beginning, but then it just became like, oh, okay, he's just bitter again. And I feel like it's because he was in a locker room full of young guys who want to do their own thing, and he's the veteran, and he's like, well, I'm going to tell you, how this is going to go because I'm the veteran. And it's like, I think a lot of these younger people are like, dude, we created this. You came here. So don't try to sit here and tell us we built AEW. You just came to AEW. That's the type of thing I think will happen.
That, and I feel like another thing that also kind of hurt was the fact, like you said, they kind of helped build this, and they wanted to do their own thing. They wanted to be edgier. They wanted to show blood. They wanted to do things like that could possibly get their TV thing either pulled or like different from WWE. And it was working. They were more edgy. They would cuss more and everything. And they show blood. But after a while, allergies. After a while, to me, blood is not needed in wrestling. To me, if it happens, cool. Like, you didn't watch Payback, did you? Did you mute yourself?
Oh, my bad. I think I pressed the off button by accident.
Oh, you're good.
I'm gonna try to watch that sometime either this week or next week. I got like 3 wrestling pay-per-views to catch up on. I didn't even finish Forbidden Door. Like Daniel Bryan versus the other. I didn't even see that.
Stark.
Yeah, I didn't even. Well, not that. The one from Forbidden Door. I didn't even finish that match.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know which one
I'll
you're talking
check him out. I got like I don't even know why AEW did that. They had like 2 pay-per-views back to back, and then Payback as well. I was just like, wow, there's so many wrestling pay-per-views right now.
So I'm going to use this as an example. So during Payback, we had Judgment Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a Pittsburgh street fight, right? During the match, they're brawling, they're doing things, they're doing what they need to do. And they throw Kevin and Sami behind a barricade. And the camera's on Judgment Day because, okay, they're setting up something. They're doing something to get a pop. Well, when the camera turns back, Sami pops up perfectly fine. Kevin pops up. Dude is leaking. I mean, his whole face is covered, dude. And just blood. I'm like, what happened? That is okay. Because if WWE does it, it's weird because it's like, oh, they're not supposed to do it. So if it happens, it's not like they blade. It happens because it happens legit. With AEW, they blade. They do things to cause more blood. And during certain stories, it is cool to see blood. Like when that happened, I said, oh, that was cool. Whereas compared to Dynamite, if I watch a random Dynamite and I see a dude bleed, two to 5 people bleed, I'm like, meh, I don't care. Because it's like they do it too much. Because to me, if WWE says, hey, we can start blading again, let's do it for pay-per-views only and certain pay-per-views. And all of a sudden, you get something like with Kevin Owens, where let's say he did blade, and it looked cool. And it's like 1 out of a million chances. Compared to, like, let's say we watch a Dynamite or AEW pay-per-view, and like 5 matches in a row, everyone's bleeding. You're just kind of like, why? Why is this needed?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like AEW does a whole lot of allowing, like, it feels like every pay-per-view there's a lot of blood. And I kind of wonder if they've done one without blood.
They have a pay-per-view or a show called Blood and Guts.
Yep.
But like a perfect example I can give you is Moxley. He bleeds every match, it seems like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you don't gotta bleed every 5 minutes. It's like he takes one bump and all of a sudden just blood. I'm like, bro, why?
There was a botch one time where the cameraman caught him bleeding.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. He was getting ready to slide the blade across his forehead. And he looked at the camera and was like, oh, I'm not doing that. So he put it down.
He went, oh, never mind. But like, I with the whole Punk situation, I just feel like he could have been really good in AEW. Even though I didn't care for him, I would have accepted if he would have been happy, 2014 CM Punk, where he was kind of humble but kind of not. I would have liked that. Not this, oh, I want y'all to listen to me. If you don't, I'm gonna strangle you people, or we're gonna fight. I'm like, why? Like, another thing, the reason why he also may have probably got fired.
What's that?
He apparently lunged at Tony.
Yeah. Oh, I heard he went after Tony and was really mad, was yelling at Tony.
But then I also heard he told Tony he quit. So I don't know if he quit and they're just saying they fired him, or he quit and they're just trying to say, oh, Tony's trying to get like, oh, look what I did. I grew a set and now I told him I fired the biggest problem we had. Because I've heard from different rumor stuff, he went at Tony, he screamed at Tony, and he screamed, I quit, and walked out. And all of a sudden, AEW said we terminate him. So I don't know if he did say he screamed at him and quit, or Tony legit fired him.
Yeah, it can be either way. I mean, I think CM Punk quit, and then Tony considered it as a
I'm gonna fire him.
firing.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I fired him, so I look like I have a set when he doesn't.
That sounds like it would really happen too. Like,
Yeah, because
he didn't fire Punk after all the things he did before.
Because when it comes to him, Tony doesn't have a set. Let's be honest. You've seen how he acts. You see how he does stuff with new hires. He always hugs them. He always he's never really professional. Like if Triple H is like, Triple H will handshake, Vince will handshake them. Like, thank you for coming to the company. This man literally gets up and just hugs them. I'm like, you're a boss. You're not a fan no more. You need to have a time and place for that. And you need to be a boss and not a friend, because everyone can think they can do what they want, it seems like. And it's like, no, I still sign the checks. Do you really think if we had this in WWE, it would really happen? Do you think Vince or Triple H would let this happen?
Hell no. And I think that's the thing is, like, to Tony Khan, CM Punk is like one of his favorite wrestlers, like not even just as a businessman, but he's like, yeah, he's one of my favorite wrestlers. It's like, okay, cool, but when it comes down to it, you've got to be able to separate your fandom from business, and I really don't think Tony can do that. I think he's way too much of a fan compared to being a boss, and so sometimes, he doesn't really handle business the best way, and one of them was CM Punk.
Because you see how he handles stuff. I remember the first thing he did when they signed Bandito, he freaking hugged him. I'm like, dude, you don't hug your new signees. You give him a handshake and go make me money.
Yeah. There was, and I don't like this whole thing going on too with AEW, where people are saying that maybe some of the backstage drama was a work, and we're not really sure what's a work and what's not. And if that's true, I don't like that, because it's like, well, then you're lying. Basically, there's a difference between set up a storyline and straight up lying to everyone and being like, yeah, well, we paid them to fight, and so now we got more. It just seems like a real cheap tactic, the whole drama sells. But I don't think this is a work. I think it's real. I really do.
If it's a work, give him an Oscar.
Yeah. I don't think it is. I think CM Punk hates a lot of those people in that company.
I do too. I think he hates Tony. I know for a fact he hates Jungle Boy. He hates the Elite. He hates Hangman. He hates pretty much all the top people in there. And it was just a recipe for disaster if you want to think about it. Because, it's something you have to realize when it comes to wrestling. It's a business. And people need to realize this business doesn't owe you anything. You owe the business. Why do you think guys like Roman's being successful, Seth's being successful? As much as I hate to say this, Orange Cassidy, look how successful he is. All these guys that are doing good things for the business are being successful. Whereas, Punk, he had his title reign. He had the whole 1-year title reign, and it was enjoyable. And now they moved on, and they had Brock Lesnar beat it. They're having Roman Reigns blow it out the water. And it's like, you can sit there and say whatever you want, but it's like, to me, it's like you had your spot, deal with it. And he had that main event spot, and he didn't get to main event WrestleManias because, I hate to say it, there were bigger draws during the time. We had Cena and Rock. We had Cena and Rock 2. We had, I can't remember who main evented.
To be fair, it should have never happened. There should have not been a Cena and Rock 2.
No, that was just for Cena to get his win back.
Yeah. I do understand him getting pissed about, everybody was. Even as a kid, I remember hearing about The Rock versus John Cena in 2012, because I think Netflix released a documentary about it, and it was really hype. It was hype because I mean, when was the last time we had like another streaming service release a documentary about a match?
Right.
Not even the whole show. It was just about Rock and Cena recapping the year. I got so into it. I didn't watch WrestleMania that year, but I remember hearing about it, and I rewatched the
I
replays.
watched it.
I wish
It
I
was-
could have.
it was live. It was a really good Mania. That main event was really good.
Yeah. But for them to have a second one, even back then when they announced it, I'm like, oh, what? Why? It already happened. It's not special anymore, you know? It's over. Like, those kind of matches, you can only do them one time. And once you've done them, you can't keep repeating it because it's like it was already booked.
Like Rock and
Evans. Huh?
Like Rock and Hogan. It was the one
Yeah.
time thing. And you know, the reason why they did it, we all said it was for Cena to get the win back in the title, which I was fine with because I don't like The Rock. I can't stand him holding a title. I can't stand him wrestling. He can stay in movies, do what you got to do. Don't come back here, take a title, and be gone off of TV for like 9 months and not do anything.
I don't miss that about Vince's booking. I really don't, because there was a long period of time where instead of trying to make your young guys champion, he would bring back people from the past. Like he'd bring back Goldberg, The Rock, you know, Brock Lesnar. He'd bring back so many older guys who had left. He brought back Batista and tried to make Batista the next big, thing in 2014. Huh?
That he tried to make Batista another big thing, and Batista.
Yeah, and it's like 2014, man. It's different time. We got Daniel Bryan blowing up. We got Dean Ambrose. Well, I don't know if Dean Ambrose at the time was. I think he was still in the Shield, but like rising talent. You know what I mean? Like Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose all became huge stars after that breakup.
Yeah, which was good. But then he kept doing it. He kept bringing in a Lesnar. He kept bringing in a freaking Goldberg. And I'm like, stop it. Stop bringing these old guys in because, like, they're not doing good. Like, as much as I hate to say this, that Goldberg and Undertaker match was probably the worst match.
Oh, it's pitiful.
You will ever watch in wrestling because they're both out of shape and old. What are you supposed to do? I love Taker and I respect Goldberg. I don't like Goldberg, but I respect him. You can't just expect them to go out there and have like a 30-minute banger. They're going to be like, I need oxygen.
And Goldberg concussing himself in the very beginning didn't help things either.
That too. He freaking missed. He freaking went into the turnbuckle and was like, I'm concussed. And then he dropped Taker on his neck, almost killing him. And I'm like, oh, this has been a crap show.
See what you did, Vince? Is the money good enough for you?
Them whole pay-per-views, them Saudi pay-per-views, if there's an old guy there, it doesn't end well. Because remember DX versus Brothers of Destruction? Triple H tore something in his arm? Bro, every old guy that goes there gets hurt. I swear. Stop bringing the oldies to Saudi. It's a cursed thing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. The Saudi shows aren't even that good usually anyway. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're like filler pay-per-views.
That last one was really good, in my opinion. The one where it had Roman and Logan, that one was really good to me.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one. I did see the match, though. It was a pretty good match.
I enjoyed that one. That one was a good one. I don't know why, but that
what
was
about Crown Jewel, where Shane McMahon became the best in the world.
I don't remember that one. Why'd you have to bring that one up?
The Crown Jewel tournament for the best in the world.
And look what happened. He tore his quads at this year's WrestleMania.
Yeah, he got cursed too, man. Yep.
But there is another thing that I know you touched on before we go back to the CM Punk thing real quick. You touched on it, and you did like a little thing. Rest in peace to Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt.
Yep. Two legends.
Bray, Terry, I'm not, he was If it wasn't for him and Mick Foley, we wouldn't have got ECW in Extreme Wrestling. So, Terry, you were a legend. You did what you were supposed to do. I appreciate what you did for this business. Thank you. Bray, I was so devastated with Bray because he was someone I took inspiration from with his character work, how my character kind of is in our wrestling thing. With how he was just such a good-hearted person. He helped people. He helped Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch talked about this after Raw off the air. He helped her set up a table so she could learn how to do it because she had a table match and she never done it. He helped LA Knight. He's helped all these people. And I'm like, dude, he should. It's unreal that he's gone and he was only 36.
Yeah.
It hurt. And it don't feel real. So
yeah, whenever I heard about it, because like the thing is, people were like having these theories that Bray was coming back soon, and there was a big thing planned for him, and there was a lot of hype, and so like it feels like the saddest thing too is Bray Wyatt created this new concept, and we never really got to see how it ended. And I don't think we're gonna. I mean, there's people saying that they might keep the whole Captain Howdy thing and keep it going, but I think it's done. Unfortunately, I think Bray had so much stuff left to do, and he had so much left to give, and yeah, it was real sad that he got taken from us so soon. I mean, he was really young. He still had a whole career ahead of him. And 36. Terry Funk, not only did he pave the way for hardcore, but I mean, Terry Funk, there's guys that give a lot to the business, and then there are guys that give their life to the business. And Terry Funk gave his life. He was involved in almost every promotion, everywhere. He was in Japan. He was in Mexico. He was all over the world. He's done everything.
TNA.
Yeah, he's one of the NWA originals. He's the guy that took the belt off of, I want to say, who did he beat someone. He beat, was it Harley Race? He might have been. I can't remember. He beat someone. Harley. Yeah, the NWA world champion. He's helped people. He's a teacher. He's a coach. He was everything, man. He did everything,
He will be missed because if it wasn't for him and Foley, I don't know what would have happened with ECW and Extreme Wrestling because, they pretty much helped carry that.
Yep. So
rest in peace to Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk. And I'm going to say this real quick. To the individual who posted the TikTok who wanted to do a hot take, delete your video and delete your channel. You don't deserve anything.
What is it?
So I'm on TikTok. So there was this TikToker, and he said he's like in this wrestling TikTok thing. Mm-hmm. He goes, I got a hot take. We shouldn't be sad that he's dead.
Oh no.
We shouldn't be crying because we didn't know him personally.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And the thing that was disgusting, he said, I cried for Brody Lee because he was like a teacher to me. You just contradicted everything you just said.
Exactly.
And he got pretty much destroyed by like a lot of big name TikTokers that are in the wrestling community. So I'm just throwing my 2 cents out there. Delete the video, delete your channel. That was very uncalled for because there
are some people that say that though, because I remember when some actors that I was really a big fan of, like especially like Robin Williams, when he passed away, everybody's like, well, you're sad that a celebrity passed away? I'm like, yeah, because these people, I'm familiar with I follow them, like I've watched plenty of their movies, or when it comes to wrestlers, I've seen plenty of their stuff, and of course I'm gonna get sad.
Just because we don't know them personally doesn't mean they can't affect us.
Exactly.
Like Perfect example. I've never met him. He's my favorite wrestler right now. Is Malachi Black. I've never met him, but like him and Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, I have a connection because they do things that I like. They're individuals that I like to follow and see how their life is. And, you know, they do things outside of wrestling, which I really like. Like Malachi, he does like a lot of boxing and kickboxing stuff outside of wrestling, which I think is pretty cool. And, you know, Seth, he's got a kid. He does stuff with the kid and Becky. You know, Roman's got a whole freaking bloodline of his own. He's got like freaking 6 kids, I think. He's got 2 sets of twin boys and a daughter. Just they're people that we care about. And to sit there and say, don't cry because you didn't know him personal is disrespectful.
Absolutely, man. Yep.
So,
Because
you know,
these people can affect your life.
yeah.
You know?
Like Robin Williams, you know, I don't like. Did you see the one actor who just died? Or actress, I should say. Actress. She voiced Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen that she passed away.
Yeah, she died. And it's like, bro, we're losing so many people because she voiced Harley Quinn in the animated stuff. And, you know, the dude who did Batman also died. It's like, we lost both of them. We lost a lot of legends. We lost the Iron Sheik. We lost Bray. We lost Terry Funk. We lost, who else did we lose? I'm trying to think of his name. I can't think of it on the top of my head. You were pretty devastated when he died.
Oh, is it a wrestler?
Yeah, he was like, he kind of acted, no, I'm not saying this to be rude, but he kind of acted gay.
When did this happen?
This year. You and John were talking about it.
Was it Adrian Street?
I think that's who it was.
Or not Adrian Street. It's Adrian Adonis.
Yeah.
No, it is Adrian Street because Adonis came after Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adrian Street's a legend too.
Yeah. Because, you know, he was also very good for his time. And it's like, there's just so much that we take for granted.
Yep.
And it sucks.
That's why I appreciate things while they last, man. Appreciate it. Don't be so caught up on criticizing everything, you know. I mean, criticism's important, but it's also important to just ride the wave and enjoy it, you know. Exactly.
Like, you see how I am. Like, I try to enjoy a lot of things when it comes to wrestling, whether it's NWA, TNA, AEW, WWE, and I'm more, you know, I am more critical when it comes to AEW, but it's just because, you know, I feel like they could just do better. Not saying I hate it, because I don't. I respect it. I love it. But, like, it needs its criticism because everyone goes on TNA, WWE, NWA. But, like, when AEW became a thing, it was like, oh, we can't say criticism. It's like, it's perfect. It's not. There's too much of this. There's too much of that. And I still like it. I like guys like Darby Allin, Malachi Black, Brody King, Buddy Murphy or Buddy Matthews, you know, Tony Storm. You know, they have really good people I like on there. Samoa Joe, a lot of them ex-WWE guys, but like, you know, there are guys that I still like that aren't, and that was never going to be like Darby. I've never would have seen Darby if it wasn't for AEW because he was in the Indies.
Yep.
And, you know, it's a good thing. You know, I wanted to sing Kenny. I wanted to sing Hangman. I really like Hangman. The Young Bucks, I would have never really got a chance to see how they were. You know, there's so many things. Like, could it be better? Yes, everything could be better. But, like, I would rather just sit there and just watch it and enjoy it most of the time. And I try to just do that most of the time. But there are things where I will get a little bit frustrated with because it's how we are.
Yeah. I think criticism nowadays a lot of people look down on it and say, well, you shouldn't criticize things. And I'm like, no, you should, because you're telling someone that they can do better. Like WWE, I was always honest with them. Like, I was like, dude, no, it's, in my opinion, they can do better than this. And they did do better. And I knew they could. I'm like, I know y'all can do better than this. Having a stale, no offense, but like a stale Roman Reigns, just been done too much of just, I'm the big dog. And then we're going to have a storyline where a guy in a dog costume comes out, and because he's the big dog. And I'm like, ew, man, what is this?
Yeah, that was dumb. That was dumb. I don't understand why they did that. But like with getting back to Punk, you know, I do really hope, you know, he can find something. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what he's going to, if he's going to go to TNA maybe after this. I don't see him going back to WWE. I don't see him doing anything with WWE. He could just be done.
Yeah.
We will just have to wait and see what happens with Punk. And, you know, maybe if he does go back to WWE, I would be 910% shocked that the world is ending.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact him and Triple H do not like each other. And I remember, I think I showed it to you a couple times. There was a promo that Triple H did when CM Punk was in WWE, when he was during the whole Summer Punk thing. And Punk said something and Triple H got very aggravated with it. And he was like, you know what? He pretty much just said, the only time you accept change is when CM Punk is on top.
Yeah.
That's the only time. Yeah. He's like, that's the only time you accept change is when you're up here. And then Triple H even admitted, okay, yeah, I did the same thing, but I changed. You know, I regret some of the things I did.
Yeah.
And it shows.
I think he even said, he's like, well, at least I had the balls to admit it and tell people to their face I was doing it and not try to pretend like I'm some savior or anything.
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, what if this is all like a thing that leads to Forbidden Door, where CM Punk was sent there as like a spy, and he was meant to try to destroy AEW from the inside out. We're gonna make it a storyline.
I seen that meme. It said, "Go to the enemy and destroy from the inside out." And Punk said, "Will do."
How much money we talking about here?
Lots of money.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it was all real. I don't think it's a work. I think we're just gonna be seeing. I don't even know what CM Punk's gonna do now.
We already got photoshops. The first thing I've seen on Facebook is a freaking Photoshop of a SmackDown thing with Roman Reigns and CM Punk face to face.
Oh God.
We are already going to get the Photoshops, and I am here for
Although
it.
with Triple H being in charge now, I want them to do. I do want to see Forbidden Door AEW versus WWE. I think that'd be a cool show.
If it's done right and not have every freaking match go to AEW.
Or you could call it Worlds Collide. AEW, WWE, New Japan presents Worlds Collide.
You know the sad thing?
Cool.
You know the sad thing?
What's up?
WWE's already copyrighted that name.
Oh, they've done Worlds Collide? When did that happen?
It was NXT and NXT UK.
Oh, but it'd be better if it was like WWE, AEW, New Japan.
Yeah, that was the funny thing. I remember seeing that thing. Because it was a pay-per-view where it was NXT versus the Cruiserweights division versus the NXT UK guys, and that pay-per-view was good.
Can you imagine if they had Michael Cole, Excalibur, a guy from New Japan, and like the next commentary team is Corey Graves, Or no, it'd be Jerry the King Lawler, Jim Ross, and it'd be a New Japan guy as well.
We would
get
not
Jim
understand a
Ross
single
and-
thing the New Japan guy will be saying.
Oh no, they talk. They have English commentators.
Oh, they do?
But they also have Japanese and English commentators. Yep, because they were commentating for Forbidden Door.
I never knew that. I haven't seen a Forbidden. I think I've seen one Forbidden Door.
The only thing I didn't like about Forbidden Door was they had AEW guys beat New Japan Pro Wrestling guys all night.
Unless it was obvious.
Yeah.
Like the New Japan heavyweight champion versus Jungle Boy. We all knew who was going to win that.
Yeah, Will Ospreay, he beat Kenny Omega.
That. I remember when you were talking about that, you were like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Yeah. They know how to go."
That's nothing. That match was nothing compared to the Fatal 4-Way for the world title. That was Double or Nothing. I seen that on. It wasn't Forbidden Door. But that was one of the greatest Fatal 4-Ways I've ever seen in my life. I still stand by that.
Yeah, that 4-way was really good. That 4-way was really good. But you got anything else on Mr. CM Punk?
I guess closing statements is goodbye, farewell to Mr. Punk. Hopefully the grass is greener on the other side because that's where he's gonna have to go. And
well, he said sometimes the grass isn't greener on the other side. Sometimes you gotta water it.
Yeah,
he's gotta go water.
He's got to go water it by himself, I guess. Maybe he's gonna go start his own promotion. You know, X Pro Wrestling or something like that. Straight Edge Wrestling. I don't know. He has the money. That's the scary thing. He has the money. He can go start his own promotion if he really wants to. Or he could go back to Ring of Honor because Ring of Honor is separate from AEW, I think, right? Or is it a part of AEW?
It's technically part of AEW because Tony bought it, remember?
Oh, yeah. Then he ain't going to Ring of Honor.
Nah,
he'll be lucky if he pops up on NWA.
Plus, Colt Cabana's on Ring of Honor, and he hates Colt Cabana.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know where he's going to go.
Shows up in NWA. What are you doing here? Get out of here.
Maybe he'll learn to not be so selfish and a jerk to everyone all the time, you know, because it cost him. This cost him his career. He can't pin this on other people. This is all his fault, you know, because he could have had a choice to be fun and have fun and just who cares if these guys are if your view on these guys backstage is that they're all just young kids who don't know what they're doing, then why do you care what they say? If they call you a phony, who cares? You're CM Punk. You're an established guy. You're the world champ.
Show them why you're not a phony.
Yeah, do what Roman does and just go out there and shut mouths. Like nobody, like he goes out there and he shows you what he can do. You know, Punk botched a lot of his stuff, and you know it happened. A lot of it was ring rust, and he just wasn't practicing right, and he just, you know, he wasn't fast, he wasn't agile like he used to be. He was botching everything, and so when you don't have the wrestling. His promos when he came back were a little rough. They were trying to make him this baby face, ultra baby face scene, and it was just weird. It's like, oh, this is strange. And I don't know. I think it's done. I think it was an unfortunate thing that had potential, but because of CM Punk not able to get over things, he just ruined it for himself and us. Because there was a lot of coolness there when he first came back. We were all excited. Everybody was just ready for the next chapter, and CM Punk's bitterness got to him again. But anyways, what's your closing thoughts on CM Punk?
So you know the Colossians happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Security's removing CM Punk signs and they're casting chants.
Didn't WWE do that too?
They did something like that, yeah.
I thought so. But here's the question I got for you, man. Is AEW going to recover from this, or is this going to be the downfall? Like, can they recover without CM Punk? Are they going to lose a lot of fans for this?
I feel like they'll be okay. They'll be all right because they got guys like Omega, they got guys like Hangman, they got Bryan Danielson, they got guys that people want to see. Will they probably lose some people like viewers? Probably, because there are people out there that
like CM Punk diehards.
Yeah, the CM Punk diehards that will um they'll stop watching, and they'll lose some viewers. I don't think they'll lose like hundreds of thousands of viewers, but I feel like they'll be all right. They'll be all right.
Yeah, because I was wondering if just the numbers are going to drop drastically because of this.
I don't think it will at all. I feel like it'll drop a little bit probably for the Saturday night show because people are like, "Oh, I only came to see CM Punk."
Yeah, and I mean they did a lot of shit around him. Like Rampage was on the map because of Punk. It was like, oh, you want to hear first episode of Rampage is CM Punk, first episode of Collision is CM Punk. Like they built those shows around him, and now there is no CM Punk, and now there is no real world championship. So it's like, what is going to happen? And also, why did CM Punk just get to keep that belt? Like, dude, you got suspended. It should have been taken from you and given to somebody else, and it was. So why are they doing the whole... I'm glad he's gone, because I was like, why are y'all just giving him the world title back when y'all have it on MJF?
And they called it the real world champion.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell is this? I guess they were going to make it a new belt and make it a whole brand split.
They can still do that. They can just redesign the world title he had and just give to someone else. Like,
yeah, well, now there's even more of an opening for that, because people would be like, well, we have a real world championship, but we don't have a champ. So we're going to have a tournament. I'm like, God damn it, Tony, another tournament. You've done 5.
Oh, God. I forgot. We're going to get another tournament now.
I hate it. Stop it, Tony. Stop having 8-man matches. I swear, like, these cards are all like multi-man because he doesn't want to leave anybody out. And I'm like, I get it, but man, it gets like tiring.
WWE does that sometimes. It's like, bro, I'm not sitting for like a 5-hour pay-per-view just because you don't want to leave people off the card.
Yeah, like, they need more singles matches, not like, oh, we're gonna have a fatal 5-way, and then a battle royale, and then a tag team battle royale, then a tag team fatal 4-way, and then a ladder match. I'm like, dude, calm down. You only need singles matches. Like, you don't need a bunch of multi-man matches are meant to be kept as a special thing, you know?
So many matches, not enough time.
All right. But yeah, that's all I got. Did you want to have any closing statements on this before we head out?
I hope he finds happiness wherever he goes. If he doesn't wrestle again, cool. If he does, cool. If he goes back to WWE, I'm going to believe the world is ending.
Yeah, me too.
Which he definitely will not be going back there. But everyone keeps saying Survivor Series is in Chicago, so...
Will CM Punk come out and challenge Roman Reigns?
No. 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 No.
You don't want to see CM Punk versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania?
No. 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 No.
CM Punk versus Roman Reigns versus The Rock at WrestleMania. Oh my God, man.
He'd just get pinned. He's there to take the pin.
I got to ask you one more question. Okay. Who do you have winning the Rumble, the next Rumble?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Because I know everybody's saying it'll be Cody versus Roman Part 2. The story continues. And then there's people saying that'll be LA Knight that wins. And there's people saying that Finn Balor will win.
It's not going to be Cody. They're not going to give Cody two Rumble wins. That'll be wasteful. I think if Gunther doesn't have the IC title, he's winning. Or LA Knight or Jey Uso.
Okay.
Those are my 3. Because For one, Gunther. Oh, good God, Gunther!
My man said the Miz.
Gunther will kill everyone. LA Knight because he's gonna get pushed. Jey Uso because it would kind of make sense if we got Jey and Roman at WrestleMania, but they're probably gonna do Jey and Jimmy at WrestleMania. So what they're probably gonna do is Jay's gonna be close to winning the Rumble, and then Jimmy's gonna come out, or Jimmy's gonna
Logan Paul.
Logan who?
What if Logan Paul wins the Rumble, man?
That's when a riot happens, but I wouldn't be mad. It'd be kind of funny.
It'd be hilarious.
Bro, I want him and his brother as tag team champions.
Please.
I will laugh because everyone's going to hate it so much. I'm like, yes.
You're supposed to hate it, so.
I mean, you're right.
But anyways, yeah, that's going to be it for this live stream. Thanks, Colt, for hitting me up and wanting to do this. I actually was wanting to talk about the whole CM Punk thing and get everything aired out and figure out what the heck's going on, because we still have a lot of things that we don't know what's going to happen with. We don't know, like Collision now doesn't have their face star, the Real World Championship, and we don't know what's going on with that. The Chicago pay-per-view tonight, it could be a hit, could not be a hit. We'll see how it does financially. There's a lot of thought, like with a guy like CM Punk just doing something like that, it does more than just a guy leaving. It's like, it's big because he was involved with so much stuff, you know?
Yeah. But like I said, I hope he finds peace. We'll see what happens. I just hope he's happy.
Yeah, well, he's probably happy he has money to walk away with. He probably got a big paycheck.
Oh, by a mile.
Anyways, thank you so much, man, for joining me on here and talking about this. No problem, man. It's a pleasure to have you back on, as always. And I'm going to get back to watching some All In or All Out, whatever it is. There's two of them that just happened. So it's like All In, All Out, all this, all that. I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, y'all, you guys have a good night. We got 7 viewers to end the live stream. That's actually a pretty high number for the end. Thank you guys for sticking around. I left the link. Yeah, we really appreciate all your guys' support. I left a link to my Twitter. I'm back on Twitter. Finally, it's been probably 5 years since I've been on Twitter. The return is back. I'm on there. If you guys want to follow me on there, I'll be giving updates to future videos and stuff.
I'll probably be doing a stream Monday.
Yeah, streams. So Colt's going to be doing a stream as well. Yeah, lots of stuff going on, guys. Thank you so much for being here, and we appreciate you. We'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Bye.